It was around 8 p.m. on December 31st, 2022. All the, "oh, I'm gonna take a shower next year" jokes are in the atmosphere, and most kitchens smell nice. I mean, it's New Year, damn it. So me and one of my boys, who I'm gonna call Phil, were playing. After getting stuck at certain places, Phil looks at me, then tells me to accompany him to their house. We then proceed, and he tells me to wait for him in the living room. This dude then comes back with a ziplock full of that magic leaf. I then open the bag, and this thing was legit. I didn't expect that from a decent looking person, because come on, we all know that good weed comes from people who look like this. So we proceed to one of our friend Eddie's apartment, which has the best rooftop in the whole neighborhood. Before ascending to this sacred place, we decided to pass by Eddie's house so that we can smoke him out. We knock on the door, and his older sister, who looks fine as hell, tells us that he just walked out a couple minutes ago. We try reaching him, but nothing. We then decide to go on with our journey to the rooftop, and guess who we find in the rooftop eating some of that leaf? Eddie. Before we could even take some of our already rolled ganja, he passes me his blunt. You know the way you inhale the smoke inside and it settles somewhere here? Well, this one kinda landed here. It was strong. Eddie then turns to Phil and then legit asks him if he has more weed left. Yeah, it turns out this was Phil's weed, and he had carried 1 bag and 3 pre-rolled joints. That's it. After today, I'm quitting, because there is no way magic can be this strong. As I take my 4th, 5th-ish puff, I start feeling it. As if we weren't tripping enough, Eddie turns on his small speaker and plays Chickens by Future. The 3rd joint dies up in flames. Yo, Charles. Why are you ignoring me, man? Call me Neil. Eddie's phone rings. He picks it up, and then we get off the apartment. We then start walking to this other apartment, since Eddie had been rung by this girl. We look up, and at this floor we see it all. This thing was lit. Inside the elevator, we could hear the bassiest music on the soles of our feet. Ding! Door opens, and then we are greeted with the smell of that magic leaf and alcohol. This was sort of a New Year freshman college party. I wasn't surprised, because I knew some people in this party and they also knew me. The weed helped me tap into my inner rays, and I started talking to some shorties. I then proceed to the balcony after grabbing a can of soda. I don't drink. And then I see this body. I tap that inner rays, and immediately we start having a conversation, which leads us to this apartment's rooftop. Not as nice as the other rooftop, but it's still a rooftop. Apparently she wasn't getting enough air in there, and I have to agree, because the balcony was also filled with people and at least 3 bags of magic in the air. The smoke there was also enough to make a person who doesn't smoke weed high as a kite. As we are talking, I look at the time, and it's around 9:20 p.m, yet it felt as if it was 1 in the morning. Yeah, this was the real deal. We then start walking around the rooftop, and as we are about to get off and go back to the party, we realize that the security guard had done a genuine mistake. This is how the rooftop to this apartment is designed. There are 2 access points to this rooftop, and the doors that let you come up to the rooftop, apparently they are locked by nighttime and can only be opened by the tenants and the security guard, because they can only be unlocked using this special key. Yet this security guard locked us up here without looking. I kept on trying to call someone, but then after taking out my phone, I will put it back in my pocket. Yeah, I was still tripping. I then decided to call Phil, who sounded drunk than a fish. I then realized that I could spend more time with Amaya here. Eventually someone opened for us, and we walked out of there. In the elevator, we then went back to the party, and this was the definition of a college party. I'm talking absolute bangers on the speaker, people having fun, cake on meat and other food stuff. Just pure vibes, bro. The most memorable part to this story was when almost everybody came out to the rooftop at 12 a.m. and shouted Happy New Year as the fireworks lit the sky from almost all directions.